thank you, by the way, to Johnny Yang for sharing the previs video with us. We'll draw some clips in the background. But holy cow,
what an awesome previs, dude!
It but it ties into what we're talking about and bringing the character into that fight. So how much? Tell us that process, like how much Steven was involved in that, or when he became involved in that, and like you said, like trying to keep it within his skill set and what he is doing with this character.
Yeah, so that was on the very tail end of the movie. We shot that in LA on the stages. So by that point, I've worked most of the run with Steven and had a pretty good understanding of what his vision was for the character. The hard part actually for that fight was we couldn't make it look like we knew how to fight. It couldn't be clean. Joe was very adamant about like it has to be messy, it has to be gritty. He didn't like a lot of punches.
Joe Carnahan. For those listening, that's Joe Carnahan, the writer director.
Yeah. So we couldn't be technical in any aspect, and it was interesting because I was like, oh, I have a grappling background. I was like, a lot of it was like on the ground for me, and I was like, there's so much wrestling.
It was very technically untechnical.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, you guys did a great job of
I mean, it was gritty, brutal. I loved it. When I saw the previs, I was like, oh my God, this is right up our alley.
Yeah. Like, it was so good. And the moves were crisp. They were sharp. Like, and to sell both is not easy to do. And you guys sold both.
And no insult to anybody else in the movie, but it was not a Jason Bourne fight.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it was. I was actually lucky.
It didn't have those theater beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
So Keith Willard, the coordinator, and Johnny, they pulled a lot of references from like street fights and like those TMZ like YouTube clips. They spent a lot of time and effort researching what people do when they're just fucking brawling it out on the streets with no training. And so we pulled a lot of references from that. And I was lucky. I had 2 days to practice this fight. Jerry Quill, really great martial artist and stunt guy, he was the original fighter in the previs. And then Dan Mast, Matt Damon's double, came in and had 1 day to figure it out with me. So I had 2 days of practice of like figuring out the moves and how to like make it messy and hide technique within the messiness. But Dan came in. He's also a really tough guy. So after that first day, we kind of got a feel for each other, and there were improv moments where we kind of just laid on each other and knew that the other person could handle it, which helped a lot.
Yeah, it was great. And then, for those of you out there, I mean, you'll get clips you won't see the whole previs. We'll drop in clips, but when you watch the whole thing unto itself, and I had mentioned this to you after you sent it, I was like, wow, this is better than the fight in the movie, only because it's not chopped up. Like in the movie, they're cutting back and forth between the two fights.
You get a nice seamless fight,
which is great because they were showing the parallels, right? But wow, when you watch the whole thing as one fight, it was just beautiful. It was just so beautiful.
Yeah. So that's how it is sometimes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Also, you've worked a lot of things. We've worked a lot of stuff, and you work with a lot of actors. But you're working with Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, doing fights in close quarters places. Was there just a place at any time when you were just like, shit?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are movie stars. I grew up watching all their stuff,
but they're not. But they're like, there's movie like we've worked with stars, and Jeffrey on The Walking Dead or whatever. But then there's like the fucking elite.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to bash anybody else, but Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are fucking Hollywood elite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's got to be.
Well, that's how I felt when I got the first job on Wick, and I got to first work with Keanu. I was like, oh my God, this guy, I grew up watching this guy.
Yeah, no, this cast was stacked. We had Kyle Chandler, we had Ben, Matt, Teyana, who just won Golden Globes.
Mm-hmm.
We had everyone.
Scott Adkins.
Scott Adkins.
Yeah,
Scott Adkins. Was so nice. Yeah, Scott Adkins was, I mean, it's a shame he didn't get the fight, but
no, actually, it's funny you say that.
A little scuffle.
He had the brother fight, but I mean, hopefully we're not giving too many spoilers away, but it's like he
Oh, and
I-
Steven Yeun, by the way, had the greatest fucking line in the whole movie, which was when he was making fun of him, and he's like, "You're a bully."
yeah.
So good.
But I actually like that. This is sort of a tangent, but I really like that Scott Adkins is getting out there more like
Less
sort
as
of
Boyka.
yeah, less you know, let's just say it, less like B movie action
Boyka.
fodder, but like into like legit acting roles that don't depend on his fighting ability at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was pretty psyched about that, but super nice cast, everyone. When we first started in the garage for stunts, Ben, Matt came in. I think all the stunt people just like took a step back and like we're looking down, like we don't want to bother these people. And Matt just goes up to each and one of us and says hello. I was like, I never want to wash this hand again. It was star-shocking, but it was such a great cast to work with.
But that's awesome, dude.